Good morning and welcome to the Daniel Baldwin Show. It is Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Let me tell you that as we go, we may go back and forth a few times to show you the number of times I have attempted to bring you this show this morning here from Miami Beach, Florida. So I am down on the Strip in Miami Beach. At the Cavalieri Hotel, funky, cool little hotel right on the beach, you know, like hanging out, doing my thing. Had some business here in Miami Beach yesterday, so my wife DOGE and I came down and thought, you know what, let's go spend a day. Let's spend some time together for Valentine's Day. You know, she's up, she's getting a little extra sleep. It's only 4:30 in the morning now, and then we're going to spend the day together here, just like a nice romantic couples day. Listen to that. See, I'm not cutting anymore. You hear that? There's like there's hotel after hotel after business in a room down on this boulevard where I'm at. So here, let me show you the moped lovers. Let's take a look really quickly right here at my first and second attempt to shoot the show this morning. We'll cut you a little bit of the moped lovers right here. So as you can clearly see that there's a girl. She's oh, she actually walked away too. She's gone now. She was sitting outside here when I got here, and then moped guy came by and he decided to Mac Daddy with her. He was making some hard moves. Hey, where are you from? You know, it was pretty funny actually because I could clearly hear them. So I thought, then you're going to hear them. So let me wait. There's a surf shop right next door. I don't know that I've ever experienced a 24-hour surf shop. There are people. Good morning.
Good morning.
There are people waking up, coming out of the hotel right now, just you know, starting their day nice and early. But I have made multiple attempps, and have. I thought the surf shop was a 24-hour surf shop. Here, take a look at this footage of the surf shop next door. This cannot be open right now. It just has to be lit up. The chain on the door. Like you say, my God. Can I really satisfy all my surf needs 24 hours a day? You can see there's been, you know, they're throwing the obstacles at me. I did not get footage of the woman down the way, my original attempt. You can hear people coming up. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to let them come up. I'm going to say hi to them. I'm going to invite them on the show. So there was a blower going off. The blower was going off. And so I went up and I left the camera here. I turned it off. And yeah. We're just coming by. We're coming by. We're saying hi. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm blessed every day. Thank you for asking. I'm shooting my show, and I'm saying hi to you while I shoot the show. Where are you guys from?
We are from the Faroe Islands.
The Faroe Islands.
Yes.
How do you like Miami Beach?
Very good.
It's nice, yeah?
We came yesterday, so it's nice.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're having fun.
Yeah. We're looking for coffee now, so that seems.
They have coffee inside here. I don't know if it's for hotel guests.
It's probably for hotel. Yeah.
You could sneak in, though.
No, thank you, though.
Yes, God bless you. See? So, you know, we're meeting people while the show was going on, and I'm not going to stop. I'm telling you, I'm not stopping. Like, this is going to be it. People are going to come. This is the choice I made. The camera's moving. All kinds of great stuff's going on. I'm not afraid. Rock it, move it, talk to me, pick up girls, turn on blowers. You can't stop me right now. I'm a machine. But let's talk about something, though. It's Valentine's Day. And, you know, part of the thing I wanted to talk about was taking that time for yourself and taking that time for your wife or your spouse. You know, if you're a woman watching the show, for your husband, because it's really important. It's really important. I could see last night with the kids at home, and we went to dinner. Dee and I, we walked around, you know. It's fun. We don't do that kind of stuff too much anymore, you know. She works a very hard-working lawyer. I do a lot of my entrepreneurial stuff. Directing and acting too has not stopped for me. So I'm busy, and we have a son. We have 2 teenage daughters that are mine before we were married, but you know, DOGE has stepped in really nicely to be a comforting stepmother arm to them, and a liaison to femininity, you know, which was really needed. I mean, I don't know if you could tell. I tried really hard when they were little, you know, to be the best I could, you know, as mom and dad, because they were with me a lot of the time, not as much with their mom. When they were really little, they were with their mom. But in the last like 8 years or so, they've really been with me a lot more. So, and for her to come in and take on, that role has been hard, for everybody. But she's done a great job. So my point is that I don't know, when we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of what we're doing, we always remember that, think of yourself as a battery, okay? You're one big battery. You have all this power that illuminates what you have to do and powers what you have to do, and a lot of other people around you who just keep sticking a cord in, into the wall, assuming that there's an unlimited amount of energy that'll come out of it. The electricity will just keep flowing and we don't have to worry about that. And that's actually not true. You have a certain amount that you can put out before you start damaging the core, start damaging the battery. And you need to take time to replenish the battery. You need to take time to make sure you're sound, you're whole, that you're doing the things that energize you, that put you in a position to be that battery for other people. For instance, look at our son. He's 19 months old. So he's not doing anything but soaking juice out of you. He is. I mean, he requires a lot of attention. The feeding, the changing, the laundry, the educational aspects of it, the love that he needs constantly from us, the attention that he needs. While that's going on, I've got full-time lawyer, working on all the legal stuff that she has to do, full-time mom, full-time wife. God forbid there was personal things that she would do, and myself too. I look at like going to the gym to work out and going to do the things that feed me, that allow me to be in that position to go, Daddy, can you take me to? Daddy, can you take me to? Daddy, can you pay for it? Daddy, can you travel to? Oh, by the way, this charity needs you to come to. It's your mom's thing, and your sister and your younger brother Billy are wondering if you can attend, and blah, blah. And this isn't everyone's side. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, taking the time to make sure you replenish that battery is super important. And I saw it in my wife's face last night. We were sitting, and we were just sitting across from each other like I am with you in the camera right now. And we ordered dinner at this little Italian place, and it was nice, And she ate some of the appetizer stuff, and I could see her, Deja can't eat a lot. She's a little tiny thing. And she was like, I'm getting really full. And she was kind of had this little cocked smile on, and I said, what are you thinking about? And she goes, I'm just really content right now. I just feel really, and it was such a simple thing. It was just such a simple thing to go on, one of the sites, book 2 flights. We flew just a regular economy, quick down from Atlanta. Didn't cost a lot. Set it up in this funky hotel. Maybe next time I'll stay in one of the bigger, fancier hotels. It doesn't matter. There wasn't a right or a wrong. It was about doing it. It was about acknowledging the fact that someone that you love, the person that you love the most, and the most important person to you, that you let them know that you care, that you let them know. That's what Valentine's Day is to me. It's letting her know that although sometimes it might feel like you're skipped over, in the day-to-day, and I make sure she knows I love her a lot. But to go to that extra step, to go that extra couple of feet, that extra effort, to let someone know that you care about them. I think that's what Valentine's Day is. They set a whole day aside for you to just walk together and be together and compliment her and make sure you pull her chair out. I know you probably pull her chair out a lot, but do you always pull her chair out? Do you always run around the car and open the door for her? Do you always put exactly what she wants first before you all the time? I do a lot. It's not all the time. It's not. Today it'll be all the time. Today I'll make the effort to really make sure she understands how special she is to me and how much I appreciate her. So that I wanted to give you as the Valentine's Day message. I'm going to give you a cutaway. I'm going to show you the mystery of, I went to the store before I got here. I'm looking down at it. I'm going to talk about it because I don't have a totally prepped show. I'm on vacation. I'm with my wife. I wanted to put a show out today to talk to you about a few things, a few political things I'll get to that you're used to hearing from me. But I've got this series of, here, take a look at this. Okay, so you see that? Those are the stains on the new jeans. Now I bought the new jeans, and these are like, Target, or something. Like I wanted jeans that I could run around in and beat up on. I wear the same 1 or 2 pair of jeans all the time. I've got all the nice stuff, and I don't really wear it too much. I'm a pretty simple person. So I got Target, Walmart, whatever jeans on, and they're like $20, 25 bucks. And I look in the closet when I'm getting ready to get dressed, and I have, this designer and that person and these guys and blah blah blah. And I put the same stupid pair of jeans on, and they're getting kind of beat up. So I bought a second pair. And here's the mystery. What I just showed you, that series of dots, they're stains on brand new jeans. I never wore these jeans before. And they laid over my son's crib. And so I said to my wife, Bat must have done that. Bat definitely stained my new jeans. She's like, what are you talking about? Why do you blame Bat? I went, well, he's the only one that was near the jeans. So what did he get on his hands? Because he does. He walks around, suddenly he's got black ink, and he's got, I don't know where he gets all this stuff from, but he's got stuff on his hands all the time. So I'm blaming this on Bat, and I can't get it out. And I'm on vacation. I bought 1 pair of jeans for 2 days, because I'll wear them 2 days in a row. I don't care. Now I'm going to the surf shop. I'm going to have to buy a pair of shorts to run around in today. Because I don't know why. Maybe because I'm away. Maybe being on vacation equates, I'm more conscious of how I look. But this would never bother me at home. It wouldn't matter to me. I would just have stained jeans. But it's bugging the crap out of me now. And I took a sponge and I tried to get it, not working. I'm going to share these really ridiculous, mundane thoughts with you today, because it's 4:30 in the morning. Cars are driving by. It's Valentine's Day and I'm doing a show. Security. So we got the moped out running the security guy before the cops came by with their lights on. And I thought I was going to see some action, maybe get some B-roll of a big bust going on here in Miami Beach. Not happening. So I went through what has been happening, and a couple of things politically that jumped out at me. Well, there's a lot going on, obviously. In the first, working on 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks now, coming up on 2 months, sorry, of Trump being in office, and all the attention that he's getting about this USAID, and that him and Elon are shutting things down. And I want to make sure I touch on this first for people that are listening and people that are paying attention. In none of these stoppings, I'll call them, suspensions, some maybe there is no intention for a program to come back. For instance, and again, that's been proven to be debunked. This one's been proven. Okay, so I heard that condoms, $20 million in condoms was debunked in Colombia. That's just not true. Okay. I think that what we're getting on the lists of reports of things, some of them are probably BS. I get it. Are 5 of them out of 20 true? Are 55 of them out of 100 true? Are any of them true? So I think the point that you need to make to yourself is, yes, I believe it has now been debunked. This is the example I kept getting from people that I know in my personal life who have shot down Musk and shot down Trump and said that he's causing trouble, and he's the one that I had someone tell me that they believe that Trump and what he's doing and how he's stirring things up with Musk is the reason why the helicopter hit the plane in Washington, D.C. And I thought, I'm really interested in how you're going to tie this together, because I can't say I share that sentiment, and nor do I see the parallel between the two of them. But I was interested to hear, they're a very smart person, and I really wanted to understand that. And so, as this person put that together for me, I really didn't see it. I understand the disruptiveness, that he's disrupting things, but when it's your money that's going out, when you're paying for, so by the way, let me tie this up. So it turns out that it was in Iraq, I believe, that the $20 million was spent on condoms. And the reason why money was being spent on condoms, which wasn't explained well, was because of AIDS. But this was the excuse that the USAID said, we're spending this money because AIDS is now picking up in some of these countries, and we want to curb the spread of this disease. You know what? I get that. I understand that. Is it the U.S.'s responsibility? Here's where I retort some. We don't want AIDS. We don't want anyone to get sick. We don't want anyone to die. Certainly of some terrible disease. But is it the U.S.'s responsibility to buy $20 million worth of condoms for the citizens of a country to prevent them from getting AIDS, while members of our country can't get a place to live, running water, sanitation, heat in North Carolina after a devastating storm that has killed and wiped out every single thing they own and have? And I believe they were given some $700 a week or whatever it was. We know the whole story. I think you get where I'm going. So when I hear from guys, I have a friend of mine, I'll just say him Jeffrey on Facebook, who wrote me this thing. A very smart guy too, somebody who I know and respect his family, and respect him for a long, long time. And we go back and forth I post something, and then he's obviously a Democrat, and he's pro-Biden and pro a lot of stuff that I'm willing to look at. I'll look at all of it. Do you really think that we're going to turn around and we're going to take, let's call it the X Fund? On the X Fund, we're feeding underprivileged children in Africa and Uganda. Okay? So we're going to feed these underprivileged children in Uganda with this money. And we have $30 million a year that we've approved. It's been appropriated. They set up this program. We're funneling the money in now. And we find out, not even us, that there are factions of the Ugandese government or whatever that are siphoning that money off and doing things with it that aren't feeding the children that we sent the money for. Or there are factions here in the U.S. that are paying big corporate salaries. Or there are factions here in the U.S. that are flying on Learjets. Or the money just went into an account and it didn't make it to Uganda. Or so again, and I'm not pointing the camera at anyone, accusing anyone. If there's clear evidence that as of last month, 40,000 people in Uganda received those meals, when 30 or 40 million dollars went last year to that program, and that should have fed, at a dollar a person, 40 million people, for staples of rice and, let's get some active water going so they have water that they need. Let's get some, take some of that 40 million, give them health care and checkups and, whatever it is we can do to help them. Whatever the whole idea was, whatever the program was that we said, hey, that sounds really good. That sounds good. We should do that for those people. Those poor children, they need our help. Here's big bad America with all its fury and everything that we have, and no one's saying that they don't want that. But the way to stop the misuse of the money is to shut it down initially, and let's take a look at what happened. Where did it break down? Where in the chain of putting the money in the account, transferring it over, got to the guy? Like, where is the breakdown that doesn't have those kids eating, a dollar's worth of food every few days? Stuff that you would look at and you would cry. You would cry to think what a dollar would buy them. A dollar in Africa. What you spend in one stop at Starbucks on a muffin and a coffee would feed 2 or 3 kids a week. A big handful of rice. I know you've seen it before, and you've seen it, in the United Way, and you've seen these different programs, but I'm not kidding. It's true. I've seen it. I've actually physically gone there to the country and seen what it does. So it's a crime. It's a crime that the money's not going to the right people, and it's sad. And again, I'm still not even calling out anybody on the fund, or I've got all this stuff that I'm hearing about Chelsea Clinton and the Clinton Foundation and throwing big names around that gets a lot of attention. Well, I don't know what Chelsea Clinton and the Clintons are doing. I don't know whether there's any misappropriation. I know one thing: there's questions about funds that were approved during the Obama administration that Obama's gave X amount of dollars in good cause, that Chelsea and the Clintons are trying to help, people in need. If there's a question of whether that money went to people in need, let's take a look at that real quick. Let's freeze the money for a minute. Let's go over here and take a look and see, is there any, and if there isn't, you should apologize that you brought their names involved. You should say, actually, you know what, it wasn't that at all, it was this. Or they didn't know that this was going on. Chelsea certainly didn't know, or whatever it is. I just wonder, while we're all getting, I got a message from this friend Jeff that I told you, and does Elon Musk have any credentials? Does he have any accreditation that would allow him to be the person in charge? And by what right does he have? Well, okay. It seems like people are questioning his authority. We elected a president. Let's take it by the numbers. We elected a president, and he appointed and started this. Is that unconstitutional? Is that? But people seem to be really pissed about a guy who, as far as I know, doesn't need any money, isn't asking for a salary, and is going in there and trying to dig out some of the, the really bad moles. He's trying to clean some stuff up, and people are upset about his right to this and his right to that, and should he be? I don't have time to do this work, and I certainly don't want my taxes going towards things that are inappropriate, and going towards the financial gain of other people while you pretended that the money was going to go towards little children that need our help. So I don't have a problem with this at all. I have no problem with it. And what happens when you voice an issue with something that seems so 100% easy to understand, and that anybody, this is what we call a no-brainer, but anyone would look at that and say, yeah, what's your problem, man? On this one, they prove this guy took the money. There's ones that are no-brainers, that we're just giving money and it's being ripped off, for sure. There's no question. That's been unearthed already. That can't be argued. It's happening. It's for sure happening. And anything that's institutionally that big, there's going to be waste. There's going to be stupid surplus. There was a story about a government program that I talked about in another show that was paying for Starbucks, the little coffee packets. And I think they spent $200,000. There was a billing for $200,000. I'm making this up, so please don't write me back. It was $120,000. It was $200,000, and it was a monthly bill for this branch of the service, or this branch of the government at the Pentagon or something. And it turned out that 82% of the people that work for this division of the government are home workers. They don't come in anymore due to COVID. They just changed it. It was much easier. The requirements are that they only have to come in, one day a week, or not even. 82% of them aren't even coming in. But the budget for the coffee didn't drop. Let me repeat that. $250,000 a month or some nonsense, a huge number. Now that's not a huge number when you look at the hundreds of billions of dollars that are spent to run certain government programs. I get it. But still, $250,000 for coffee pods at an agency where 82% of the people don't even come in and don't even work there to drink $250,000 worth of coffee. So you would beg yourself the question, where does that money go? Where since they needed, when they originally budgeted $250,000, where's that money going? Are they just stacking up rooms and rooms full of pods? Are they giving the pods away to other people that are in desperate need of Starbucks coffee pods? Or is probably someone taking that money somehow and putting it towards something else that we really didn't approve that money for? And it might very well be just an accounting situation. Maybe the money's going towards toilet paper. Maybe the money's going towards Meals on Wheels for somebody who needs them. I don't know. I just know that what's written on this page doesn't match what's being consumed and what I'm paying taxes for, that I'm being told there's no money left for other programs for veterans and other programs are things that I would hands down approve right away and tell the people to go buy their own coffee or buy a brand that costs less money or less coffee or whatever. You get the point. So back to my friend Jeff, who's saying, does Musk have the authority? I don't have the authority. I don't. I promise you, as a filmmaker, as a director, as a producer, as an entrepreneur who has run successful businesses before, who's on the board of a number of companies where I am asked to help troubleshoot, hey, how can we make this better? And some of them are pharmaceutical, some of them are aerospace, some of them, and I've come up with ideas, again, and I'm not, just out of common sense. Hey, do you think it's smart to have that machine there? Because it seems like they're walking in the door, that they're dropping the stuff off here, and then you have the people inspecting it, and then it's being transported. You have a whole division of transportation. Why don't you just move the machine? Can we run 220 out of the wall here, move the machine over, flip that over there? I calculate that would take less than maybe 2 weeks to put that over here when you're spending 45 seconds on average. This actually happened. 45 seconds on a tubing plant where they were moving, and I went, well, flip them over and have it come here. And it was just a simple little thing that I observed, that it was taking 45 seconds each time to move the tube, and the next stage could have just been moved. Something, and it's dumb, it sounds dumb, but it had been done that way for a long, long time. And I looked at it and I went, I think you're much more efficient if you move that machine over here. Is there something I don't know about its proximity? And they went, no, actually, that's probably a really good idea. And it cut down 45 seconds out of every 4 minutes. So that was like, close to 25% of the time to complete during this axis, this tube. I'm not some special industrial plastics or metal or, you get the picture. It just made common sense. I could walk in right now, with no degree in this field, with no governmental experience, and I could look at things on paper and say, hang on a second, I want to see the head of that department. I want to see that guy. Hey, can you tell me why you spent X, Y, and Z on blah, 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 and where's that money now? Show me the start, money went in your account, finish, where you spent it. I promise you, I'm going to uncover a whole bunch of red tape. There was a great story. This was back in like the 80s. And what happened was, and we understood why, we figured out why. There was somebody exposed the Department of the Navy, I believe it was. Not that I want to pick on our Navy department, but at this time, you put in each year how much money you have for your budget. So let's just say it's an even number, it's 100 million. The Navy puts in 100 million. You don't want to put in less than 100 million the next year. You want to at least say you're going to spend what you spent before, or your budget's going to go down. So you're going to be given less money to run the program. So at the end of the year, when they have, say, 10 million left, they're in a rush to spend that money. So before they submit their next budget, because they don't want to be given less money again the next year. So it got exposed that they had to buy all these tools, and they were buying a bunch of stuff up, and they were paying, $300 for a wrench that cost $20. And when it came up, it jumped out at the auditor, who went, why are you spending all this money on these tools? They were told, spend that money up before the first of the year, because we're going to lose money next year. Well, that kind of inefficiency, that kind of mindset, that's the kind of thing that I don't need a special degree. I don't think Elon Musk, who's one of the richest or the richest man in the world, has taken multiple companies. Here's this guy who's, again, maybe he doesn't know half of what somebody at NASA knows, but he's got rockets that go up in the air. They don't splash down into the ocean. They're not recovered by naval ships like they did in the 1960s. They're not re-landing tied on to a giant shuttlecraft. They're going right back into the same program that they took off in. I mean, have you seen this now? I don't believe he's a rocket scientist. I don't believe that he has degrees that allow us to believe that what he's doing in his astronaut programs and his space exploration makes him anything more than just a really smart guy who hires out some really, really talented young people, old people, knowledgeable people, educated people, experienced people that want to see us get to Mars and want to see what we can do in outer space. So Is he accredited with being somebody who has been able to see the future, has been able to be successful? Yeah, for sure he has. Are you kidding me? This guy's been, he's right on the edge, man, for sure. Have at it. I don't want the job. I don't want to spend the money. I don't want my tax dollars wasted. I don't want to tell my kids that we don't have money to fix bridges and stuff that are all going to start to collapse and break down. Watch the next 30 years what we're going to leave. We're not doing anything about it. So if you could save me some money and make this a better place and make the roads good and make the airports safe and stop terrorists from coming in and blowing up buildings and killing people and blah, 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 blah. You can save money, period. Saving money is a good thing. Let's save money and redirect the money to the things that we wanted. I'm going to jump for a minute now that I got rid of Jeff, my buddy Jeff, and addressed him. Trucks coming by. These are the boys. They're putting the cones down now. It's the weekend coming, so it's going to be busy here in Miami Beach. I'm going to take the rest of the day. So check it out. I started out by talking to you about the importance of Valentine's Day, and then I think it's a really important day. I do. So we're going to go. We're going to have breakfast. We're going to go for a little walk. Then we have a early reserved beach chairs on the beach. We're going to go hang out. We're going to hold hands and hang out on the beach. Then we're going to come in and we're going to have lunch. And then we're going to walk around this kind of funky area that we're down here in Miami Beach, and we're going to probably go shopping. I'm just going to, take my baby out, and she's going to go pick out some stuff she wants. No questions asked. Just go get what you want. So, and then I'm going to have to cart it through the airport because we had only carry-on. So I'm hoping that she wants like shoes, stuff like that I don't have to. I might have to go buy a bag and check a bag, and if she goes big time, I'm gonna have to check a bag because we have a lot of traveling to do. We're in California. We're in I think we're in Texas, California, El Salvador, and Puerto Rico and Italy in the next 3 months. We're like 5 places, probably something like that. So yeah, mommy's going shopping today with daddy. Daddy's just going to kiss her ass and tell her how much he loves her because that's her day today. But I wanted to go back and tell you that I looked and I saw that they confirmed Bobby Kennedy. And again, I look at, forget for a second about whether you like Bobby Kennedy. I don't know Bobby Kennedy that well. This is, Robert Kennedy Sr.'s son, Ambassador Hotel, running for president. Attorney General under his brother Jack Kennedy, who was president in 1960 to 1963. Blah, blah. I mean, this is the legend of the Kennedys, man. So, of course, he gets a lot of notoriety and attention from me. We were huge Kennedy people. I'm a reformed Democrat, now a Republican. So I watched this carefully because he and I have similar paths. Certainly not at the same level at all. Please don't, write to me, are you comparing yourself to the Kennedys? But we were an Irish Catholic family who were staunch Democrats from New York, who really aligned and affiliated with the Kennedys. People ask me many times about, the Baldwin brothers and the Baldwin family and acting and all that stuff. I go, well, we were the Kennedys with no money. We're kind of this Irish Catholic overachieving family, but we didn't have the advantage. My dad was a school teacher who lived on a school teacher's salary with 6 kids. But otherwise, there were some parallels to make between becoming famous and so on and so forth. So I kind of could relate a little bit to the Kennedys. I did. They were heroes of ours. And then to see how he was ostracized even by his own family for going a different way, I think one of the things that was said that was very interesting to me was, and it's the same thing I said, I had the dad card pulled on me by multiple brothers of mine. What would dad say about what you're doing? And I said, my father wouldn't recognize the Democratic Party today. He wouldn't recognize them. So are you saying dad would be Republican? I don't know what dad would be. But I know he would be sorely disappointed in how out of alignment of what my beliefs were socially about government, management, democracy. Certainly this pales in comparison to what the Kennedys stood for, in my opinion, and what I stood for. So I look at how far away from God we've gotten. I look how far away from the Bible we've gotten. I look how, and again, you don't have to share that with me. I'm just telling you, this is my stuff. You know, this is who I am. This is what I believe in. If you don't share that with me, and you don't believe that that there's no harm in having the Pledge of Allegiance in a school, to teaching a kid to be proud and be patriotic, if you don't think that that has value to you, these are the same people that jump up and down about veterans issues, but the veterans don't have they're homeless. So you say you want to do something, you say you believe in something. These are the same people. Let me give you a better example. These are the same people that bitch and moan about the police department. Are there dirty cops? Of course there's dirty cops. There's dirty everything. There's dirty politicians, there's dirty firemen, there's dirty teachers, there's teachers that are having sex with kids that are 13 in their classrooms. I mean, there's people that make really terrible choices. Does that mean that you label the entire agency? That you assume that because even if a couple of cops were doing something wrong, that's what all the guys in Chicago do, all the guys in New York do, all the guys in LA do? That's just ridiculous. But let me remind you, here comes a car. More people are waking up here in the morning in South Miami. When you dial 911, so you heard a noise outside, and even a gunshot, a woman screaming right outside your window, and you reach for that phone and you dial 911. Is someone gonna? Are you under the reasonable expectation that someone's gonna come? Someone's gonna come. Someone who doesn't know you, who has absolutely no vested interest in you. Someone who doesn't care about you or your children, personally care about them. Someone who signed on to protect you as their job. Sight unseen, they're gonna show up. You're calling 911, you're not doing a background check. Hey, don't send that cop, I don't really like him. He had a sketchy record, he pulled the guy over and used bad language. Hey, don't send, someone's hitting your back door. They're trying to get in. And a squad car pulls up. You gonna interview that cop before you send him into the backyard with your 2 kids in the apartment? Are you or are you not going to interview the cop? No, you're not. You're going to assume that he's there to protect you. You're going to assume that he's there to do his job. That's what I mean. The same people that are going to bitch about all this stuff, about how imperfect the world is, about how some guys stray. They do. I admit that. That's life. That's, what happens when you deal in numbers. A certain percentage, but not all, not near all. Most of them are really underpaid. The stress level that they go through, military guys, firemen. Firemen get out of a truck, a perfectly good truck. They put a coat on, they put all this stuff on, they strap the oxygen on, and walk into a smoke-filled, red-hot building that could collapse and kill them to try to find your dog and your kid. Take that in for a second. To go in and try to find your kid and rescue your kid. Do you really care what magazines that guy read yesterday? Do you believe you care much about who he voted for or why he voted for that person? You want your kid. You want your kid to be safe. Are there bad firemen? I guess. I guess there are. Nowhere near the number of firemen that are good firemen. Nowhere near the number of police officers that are good, dedicated, hardworking men and women that dedicate their lives, 20, 25-year careers to protecting you and making it a safer place. The same goes for this. It's the same logic. Bobby Kennedy is trying to expose a system that's not working. It's not working well. Are you happy with all the bitching and moaning that's gone on your whole life about insurance? Do you believe that we have this down in this country? How to take care of our own and get them medically covered? from homeless people to people that don't have a lot of money to people that have, the hierarchy, that have access to whatever they want or whatever. Isn't there some way we could smooth this out and make it, just give everybody health care? Maybe that's the answer. Maybe just give everybody health care and do a tax that everyone has to pay the same amount of money. I don't have all the answers, but I'm just saying, here's a guy. Oh, we got a person just yelling along out here. Remember, I'm on the boulevard. So this is a morning person that's probably with her walking partner. I'm not going to flip the camera, but I'll tell you when she comes by. Because she's just talking away. Should I tell her to be quiet? Hey, I'm rolling. Maybe that would work. Ma'am, do you want to come on the show? I should ask her. I think she's getting further away now. She's turned away. She's walking her dog, probably. If she stopped and went the other way, she's walking her dog. And she's on the phone with Ethel, her good friend. So, I think the intent. What is his intent? I saw McConnell was the one person that voted against Bobby Kennedy. And I wondered why, Mitch has been saying, screw you to Trump, for a long time. They don't like each other. Trump has pointed out that poor Mitch, he's getting up there in years. He served his country, like him or not. I want to acknowledge that. But he's probably past his time, and he's up for vote in 2026. I clearly believe he's not going to. He's probably not going to run again. And I don't think that he should. I don't think that he's fiscally is sound. And I'm not criticizing him for that. I just think that he's not in a position anymore like Joe Biden wasn't in this whole last time he was president. I think they knew Joe was in trouble. Mitch is in trouble. He has these freezing episodes and, an indication that his time has come. So hopefully he lives for another 20 years. He just shouldn't serve in that capacity. So I don't think he's going to run in 2026. But his being a Republican and going against the votes and doing the different things he's done is his opposition to the president. I don't think that he acts any longer in what he believes is what his people want or his constituents want. I think he acts in such a way. Good morning. Flashing lights, trucks. I love it. I think he acts in such a way to deliver a message to Trump and to deliver a message to his people. So, not confirming Bobby Kennedy in his health position. We got a jet taking off too. It's all coming at me now. It's going to start heating up. I'm surprised we're not seeing more people come walking around though. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I've been out here trying to get the show going. I just started 3 times and turned it off because of stuff that went on out here. So I don't care anymore. I don't care. The jets take off, provided they don't land one right here in front of us safely. I'm not breaking. So what is the problem with what does Bobby Kennedy represent that's such a threat? What does he represent that's such a threat? I mean, he wants to look at vaccinations. He wants to look at how money, again, kind of like what Musk is doing with DOGE. How are we spending this money, and is it the most efficient way? And are there people that, as an affiliation with their political positions, are lining their pockets because of the decisions that they're voting for or making, or how they're helping these pharmaceutical companies get approved and make money? And if that's the case, then I think that's, I think that's really bad. I do. I'm looking at the cop. He's got his lights on. I want him to come over so I can interview him, ask him what it's like down here, ask him what he thinks about what's going on with Bobby Kennedy, or bring up an issue and see what just somebody patrolling the beach thinks. I don't think I'm going to get that wish though. But again, I don't understand what all the problem is. It's not like he's going to go after people that don't have it coming. He's going to look at the evidence. Let's bring up an example that I've talked about on the show before. If Anthony Fauci, and there are clear indications that there are suspected misappropriations of funding and decisions that we're making, and that people who made a lot of money during COVID, wear a mask, you need to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Now remember something, let's bring up the masks for a minute, forget about the vaccine. When you're an agency that says all the employees, all the people in schools, and you give an announcement that you have to wear this, you should wear a mask. This mask will cut down on the transference of, and you're the company that makes the NR15, you're DuPont, you're one of the big companies, Scotch brand, whoever it is, that's making the masks. And suddenly the government tells you, you got to wear a mask, and without this mask, you're probably going to get sick. Well, hundreds and hundreds of millions, how many times you put a mask on and off, they made a killing. They made so much money. A PPE business, personal protection equipment. And so I was drawn into that business a little bit by friends of mine who asked me, he's flying on that bike. I didn't realize those bikes went that fast. But what do you do when someone calls you and says, hey man, you can't get these masks, this special mask that, it's the mask you want to wear, it's from 3M. So I suddenly got involved in, could I help people? I wasn't doing it so much because I thought I was going to make so much money. There was money to be made, don't get me wrong, I have to make a living too. But I was told that there'll be a freeze on the masks, that you won't be able to find them. So I started reaching out to places where we do business as a family in breast cancer. So we're funding, trying to find a cure for breast cancer up in Syracuse and on Long Island, and other friends of mine that are involved in the medical field. Did the Department of Justice need masks? So I was in a lot of different places helping get this personal protection equipment to them because I had contacts to do it. And it turned out it was all BS. It was all BS. Now, if I find out that you were kicked back money, if I find out that you bought stock in that company beforehand and you're a government agent, if you're Anthony Fauci and you were compensated royalties from pharmaceutical companies who made billions of dollars because their vaccine was approved, and you told people you cannot go back to work without getting this vaccine. If you don't get the vaccine, you won't be safe and you could spread this disease. And blah, blah. And we know all the different facts that have been brought up and the different things that have been exposed now that happened. And we're finding out more and more which ones were true and which ones weren't. If it can be proven that for the purpose of gain, you misinform people, that you approved a shot that could actually have detrimental effects on your health, could lead to your demise, your death, or severe sickness, you don't want to know that? You don't want to get ready for the next thing coming? You think that they're done? You think this is over? You think that there's not going to be another pandemic? This is a game that's been going on now for decades. SARS this one, COVID 2, bird flu's coming, we got another one coming. There's too much money involved. They're going to line you up and slaughter you. Me too. They're going to. They're going to mandate that you get stuff done. They're going to tell you got to buy the mask that they own the stock in. They're going to say, now, is that true? Is all this true? Am I conspiracy theorizing a lot of it? Yes, I'm sorry, I am. It's my theory. I believe that there are people out there that have done this for personal gain and for their friends to make billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars and have control over you. I do. I believe that. So Bobby Kennedy wants to expose that. Bobby Kennedy wants to stop that. Bobby Kennedy wants your kid not to be raised 50 pounds overweight, not walking around anymore, not doing any exercise, glued to a telephone, having cancer by 55 and dead by 70. Bobby Kennedy would like to avoid that. He would like to help us with that. Why do you have a problem with that? Why would you? Because it rocks the system. Because the guys that are supporting the politicians, follow this now, because this is what it is. The guys that stem to make the money on that stock, that run those companies, the one percenters that control the gross, amount of wealth in this country, they don't want that to change. They're already brewing up the next pandemic right now. They don't want that to change. Why would they want to change that? Their group, their pod, their people, their kids are going to really nice schools. They're, in the French Alps skiing in the winter, and you're up here, stucking it on some assembly line in Detroit, working your ass off, wondering, when am I going to get mine? How do I get my grandmother has COVID and is in a nursing home, and they won't let me go see her. She's going to die. You weren't allowed to visit her. Do you remember that during COVID? They died alone, looking at you through glass, because they were mandated to not let you back in if you didn't have a shot. And if you had the shot, it didn't do anything to you anyway. The person was dead. And this is what happened. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Where are you visiting from?
UK.
From the UK. Whereabouts?
That's why we're up. It's jet lag.
I love it. Jet lag from the UK, and they're walking the boulevard. And I'm not gonna let it distract me. Even in the middle of my sentence, I'll come back to you. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm blessed every day. Thank you for asking. There's a couple more people just walking by during the show, and we're saying hi, and we're checking in. But again, we go into these conspiracy things. Someone asked me the other day about, do you think you're a conspiracy theorist? I think I'm an observist. I think I look at stuff that makes sense. I look at stuff that doesn't make sense. I think I'm suspicious whenever money's involved. So there's that great thing that came out during the Watergate investigation, follow the money. And that's a fact, man. Just make it as simple as possible. If it's pure, just follow the money. From the time we came up with the idea to help the Ugandans, I'll go back to that, children, these poor children, they need our help. So let's help the Ugandans children. Then the money came in, we got a guy, he's doing a blower. I got another blower coming in. If the blowers start coming off, we're gonna be in trouble now. I'm gonna have to lean in and start yelling. Or do we go over to the guy with the camera and say, hey bro, how much to turn that blower off? The people at the Daniel Baldwin show would be greatly appreciative if you'd shut the blower off. So follow the money is the equation for me at all times. And it's actually not as hard to do as you think. And I think that's what Kennedy's doing. I think that's what Musk's doing. I think that's the source. So while everyone's having a really hard time about the idea of following the money, it's the one way to really figure out what the truth is. Because you can say all you want. You can say what your intentions are. You can say all this stuff. Show me where the money went. And that's going to be the answer. So I'm fully in favor of every single thing that Kennedy wants to do, that every single thing that Musk wants to do right now. And if he's laying off, and I believe that I could help Trump, by the way, I'm going to throw this in. I think that if they reacted with some of the concern that some of the citizens have and some of the watchdogs have, I think it would be wise of them. And let me give you an example. So let's say the X fund, this fund called X, that will go right back to the kids of Uganda, if we will, because we'll stay on the same so we understand. We don't change gears here. If in that fund it was supposed to feed and supply water to the certain amount of schools, is there a way to circumvent shutting the whole thing down? Is there a way to keep it alive and or announce that it's only the temporary suspension on, and that our intention is to come back and turn that water back on as a side effect of this investigation? We have to shut it all down right now. But let the people know, comfort them in knowing that, look, we want it to fulfill its purpose. We want to go back in and we want to, we just have to streamline where the money's going and how it's happening so we can't get usurped, so we can't get screwed on somebody lining their pockets and not actually doing what it is that they said that they were going to do. So I think that's part of this, is guaranteeing people that this isn't going to go away permanently. We're going to fix it. But right now we got to shut it down because it's out of control. I think that would be wise of Trump. I think maybe to get somebody, I'll volunteer to do it. I'll meet with Elon's group. They can Zoom me each week, and I'll go through a list. I'll go through a list of things that people need to know that, hey, we're not stopping this. We're not stopping the support of unwed mothers at the border, whatever the thing is. It's a good program. It's there to help. What can we do for housing for immigrants that are already here that qualify to stay? Okay, well, let's take a look at that. What can we do for them? We're going to put the money in a temporary emergency slush fund. We're going to keep that money there for them. They have to apply. They have to do the paperwork. They have to do it legally. They have to do all the things that we want to change this to when it comes to the border. But yeah, certainly there should be an emergency fund. We see the need to that. We are going to deviate some of that money that we shut the fund down in an emergency capacity. And we're going to temporarily do 90 days of funding that for these moms and their kids. Blah, blah, blah. You see, and I'm just making it up, but that could be done. That could be something that we should look at, maybe. And to promise people that we're not going to just cut it. We're not, when we say we're cutting the Department of Education, will there be a Department of Education? Will there be monies that were formerly used through the Department of Education that will still flow? Of course there will. Sometimes I think people are just idiots. But as it's happening right now, it looks like there's a lot of bureaucratic red tape, and there's a lot of money being spent on researching, reading materials. Just go buy them books. Sometimes it's just a no-brainer. You approve this money because literacy in certain pockets of the country are low, and then you want to turn around and go, hey, we need to help this problem. So let's help literacy fund. And then the money's going to, Cabbage Patch dolls in the Ukraine. And you're like, what? What does that have to do with reading in the inner city in Los Angeles and helping some of these foreigners that are coming to the country's kids learn how to speak English? The parents can't speak English. Let's fund programs to help the parents speak English, to help the children transition into American schools where no one's speaking English and the teachers are teaching in English. And you want to know why they can't read? This is just simple no-brainer stuff that, yeah, I think that we should have, kind of like the president has the press secretary. We should probably have somebody that takes these issues, submit your concerns. Maybe we meet with Elon. Maybe we get a message to Elon that we need to set up a liaison's office that helps in the time that he doesn't have the time, I'm sure, to explain all of this. But maybe we bring them to his department and we have a representative through the press secretary of the White House that addresses these issues. Maybe a site that you can go to and ask these questions. Information is power. Let's make people powerful. Let's empower people with what we could do. So, rattling show, I realize that I don't care. I'm going up to wake my wife up and go for a walk on the beach and have breakfast. And it's Valentine's Day here in Miami Beach. So I'm going to wind up the show. Send me in your questions. Send me in your comments. Criticize me, love me, hate me, whatever you got to do. I don't care. I'm looking forward to just such a great day. I hope if you're a man, listen to me carefully now. I'm going to try to get this show out quick. If you're a man, go tell your wife you love her today. Make her special today. I promise you, you will be happy that you did so, and so will she, because she is. And that's what God wants you to do. So as I do on every show, if you are a proponent of prayer, then you'll stick by, because I pray at the end of every show. And if you're not a proponent of prayer, then shut it down, and I will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. And here we go. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for your abundance and for your guidance and your healing hand. And we thank you so much for the people that are going to drive by and honk horns in the middle of my prayer. We love them too, Lord. Protect them as well. And God, it's Valentine's Day. And so in this time, when we look at the hierarchy in our lives, where God is one, and then husband and wife are two, and then everything under the tree after that, our children and the many family members and our loved ones. But number two, right below you, Lord, is our spouse. And so on this day that we spend acknowledging how important they are to us, and as the Bible has taught us. I thank you, Lord, for Deasia, my wife, and for this great gift of having her be with me under you as a team, as we serve you, Lord. And we go out again today to try to make the world a better place. In your name we pray, amen. So there you have it. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, sweetie. I love you. Daddy just threw together a show. I'm going to show you. How can I do this? Let me show you this really quick. You ready for this? I want to take this off with my hand, right? Okay. So what? You want to see my... Wait, is my lights... Am I still going? I'm still going. Check this out. Look at that. Now there's my... On the cups. Hang on. Someone's going by. He's got music just playing out of his handlebars. How cool is that? He's playing classical music, riding his bike, just starting his day, man. So there's my system on the cups. You like that? Have a blessed day. God bless you.